Hello and welcome to another edition of It's Just Our Opinion. Today we have a very special guest with us, Congressman Bradley Byrne, a candidate for the Senate. Congressman, thanks for being with us today.
Commissioner, it's good to be with you.
Hey, always good to see people out working hard, trying to win offices. I mean, campaigning is not easy.
No, it's a big state, but we've been all over the state. We've primarily focused on the part of the state that's Birmingham and North, and so we've been about living here.
Well, we appreciate you coming up. I know our citizens up here appreciate you coming too. We like to see candidates just like those big cities in Birmingham, Montgomery and stuff, so it means a lot to us when you come up this way. Well, tell me, you had a safe seat in the House, been there for 7 years, and could have stayed for another 30 years if you wanted to, but you're giving it up to run for the Senate. Why would you do that?
Well, this Senate seat's very important, and I think we made a mistake in 2017 in electing Doug Jones. Doug Jones is a Democrat. I've got nothing against him personally, by the way, but he doesn't vote the way that we expect him to. He voted against President Trump a couple of weeks ago, voted against confirming Judge Kavanaugh, voted against building the wall, voted against a bill that would stop abortions at 20 weeks, for God's sakes, and continuously make speeches on, for gun control. Well, he's not representing Alabama, so we need somebody who understands what we believe in Alabama and will vote right.
And of course, you've been doing that for years in the House, and so you just want to carry that on to the Senate then.
Absolutely.
1 out of 435 or 1 out of 100, I believe you'd have a lot more influence in the Senate.
There's no question about it. I know people who serve in the Senate now, who served in the House, who told me they have more power their first day in the Senate than their last day in the House. Just a function of the numbers. But I understand how important senators have been to Alabama. I remember Senator John Sparkman from this area. Senator Sparkman had a tremendous impact on this area and the entire state. So these Senate positions are important in Alabama.
Well, we appreciate that. Like I said, we need leadership right now. I think everybody knows we need really good leadership up there. So
We do, definitely need good leadership.
well, you have a good record of supporting President Trump. I'm sure he can count on you in the Senate, the same kind of support.
Yeah, I've developed a really good relationship with the president. He invited me and about a dozen of my colleagues over to the White House to celebrate the end of impeachment and surprise us all by calling us out by name. And he said something at the beginning that I think was real important. He said, you go through this, you get close. When you go through a fight like that, you get close. So we've got to be very close. He said, we thank each one. He said, Bradley Byrne from Alabama, what a great state. Thank you, Bradley. He was really thanking me, but he was really thanking Alabama. That made me really proud.
Well, I know it made you feel good, but just to be invited to that group, we all watched it on TV when it come around, and of course heard him call your name out, and I know that really had to mean.
Yeah, it just, you can't describe it. You never expect it's going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen. None of us when we got, I didn't know I was going to be there until an hour beforehand. We got there, we had no idea what was going to happen, but he obviously understood how much the group of us that was there had fought for him, and he was expressing his appreciation, and I appreciate him appreciating me.
Well, it meant a lot, like I say, just for us in Alabama to know that you was actually invited, and then to be called out, because, that wasn't really just an attack on President Trump, that was an attack on all of us conservatives.
Exactly.
That's what I think it was.
You're exactly right.
And so you'd be called out as one of the leaders in the fight to save him. I think that was really good.
Yeah, it's a big day.
Now, we hear a lot on the campaign trail, all candidates talk about Alabama values and all that. Do you think there's any difference in Alabama values and the rest of the country?
Well, maybe more in terms of our emphasis, but we're more likely in this state to have strong belief in God. You got some parts of this country where that's just not true. We also are patriots. We have a large percentage of our people that have served in the services. We also understand hard work. We don't want people to give us something. We're not expecting the government to give us anything. We want to work and get paid for what we've done, the value of our work. And we understand that our country's better off unified instead of going off into this group or that group or that group. We got people in Washington who want to divide us by what color our skin is and all that stuff. That's not who we are in Alabama.
Well, seem like all candidates say that, but most of them really don't want to elaborate on what it is. But I think you really got it. Like I say, Alabama, we're just different.
Well, most of us wake up every day and spend a little bit of time with God. And God is the source of our understanding of truth and reality and what's good and what's not good. And I wish more people in America would get back to that. I think our country would be far better off.
Oh, I do too, definitely. You know, we could get back, teaching our kids those basic values that folks like you and I, we're probably close to the same age. I'm pushing 60 and you're
A little bit older than that.
So, but you know, our kids just hadn't had that fundamental base that we did. And so we need to get back to that.
Absolutely. We need to allow kids to pray in school. We need to make sure parents, like when I was bringing up my kids and now that my kids are bringing up my grandkids, they need to make sure that the faith is taught to our children. And you know, that's the fundamental core of America, is what parents and communities and schools and churches do with these children. And we've got to do a better job.
Got to. And it starts at home, but our leaders need to be good examples in that also.
Absolutely. If I'm not willing to model in my life what I expect people to live, then I shouldn't be in any position. So I understand there's a special burden on me, responsibility on me, to make sure I behave myself in my life the way I expect everybody else to behave. And I think I do that.
We appreciate that. President Trump, you know, continues to call for wanting to complete the wall on the southern border. Now, you know, we see all the candidates seem like they say they're for that, but where do you stand on it?
Well, I'm not only for it, I've voted for it on a number of different occasions to give him the money that he needs to build the wall. I've actually been to the border. I've seen parts of the border where there's no wall, and I've seen parts of the border where there is a wall. The wall works. And border security is your and my personal security. You got this guy, this illegal alien that killed this woman in New York, 90-year-old woman, a month or so ago. I tell people all the time, keeping people like that out of this country is keeping you and me safe.
Oh yeah, it is. I've actually been down to the wall too, and it's just amazing. Even at the port of entry, how many people's going in and out. Just imagine you go down a few miles where they're climbing over. You never see anybody climbing over back to get to Mexico.
No, no, they want to be here because we have what they want. We have the freedom and opportunity and the ability to have a high quality life. I'm sorry they don't have that in Mexico or Central America, wherever they're all coming from. But we can't be the caretakers for everybody in the world. We have a legal system for legally coming into this country, and I expect everybody to obey that. And if they don't, we should deport them. Okay? No amnesty at all.
Oh, I agree. You know, we all have to go by laws. Why shouldn't they?
You know, I've had these town halls as a congressman, and it's not unusual for me to get into this issue, and there'll be somebody there who's been legalized, come from another country, who's naturalized, and they feel stronger about this than you and I do, because they've gone through the long, arduous, expensive process of becoming a citizen, and I honor them for doing that. And it makes them angry that somebody else will get a slap on the wrist after they've violated the law that these people are now citizens complied with.
Oh yeah, because you know it's not easy to go through the process. It's a long process.
It's tough.
And once they've been through it, then you know they need to be here. But they need to be legal.
They have to be legal. This idea that we're going to let people come into this country illegally, give them a job, and give them citizenship, no, we shouldn't do that.
I agree. Except
Yeah,
legal or go home.
exactly right.
All right, the polls, the last few weeks, the polls have really just been all over the radar. I mean, in the past few weeks, we've seen you make some huge gains in the polls. I mean, why do you think all of a sudden that the polls are coming your way?
Well, I think people are starting to pay closer attention to the race. You know, I've been doing this for a year, but most people in Alabama have their lives to live, and I understand that. But they're getting closer to the election, well, less than 2 weeks away, and now they're really paying attention. And as they do, they're learning more about each of the candidates, and people have been moving in our direction, which is a good thing for us. Now, I think there's going to be a runoff, and that runoff will take place on March the 31st, but we're just trying to get through March the 3rd right now.
Well, speaking of polls, like I say, you know, I kind of like you. I think people really start focusing the last few weeks, and I mean, you've had a good rash of ads on TV, really telling where you stand, what you've done. I mean, and do you think that people are really trying to see now that here's a candidate that really knows what he's talking about?
Yeah, and I think they really, in some of my ads, obviously we featured President Trump thanking me. I think people are looking for that. They're looking for somebody that they can rely upon to support the president. When the president calls you out and thanks you, I think they know that we can rely on that guy. And the president and the people of Alabama can rely on me.
I've noticed, I think I read the other day that you have a 97% track record voting with President Trump.
I do.
When we gonna start seeing that on ads? I mean,
Well, we have it on one of my ads, one we ran for a while. We talk about it just about everywhere we go, and a lot of people know that. I think people understand that I'm a strong supporter of the president. Look, my wife probably doesn't agree with me 97% of the time, but I agree with the president 97% of the time, and I vote with him.
well, I think, the people of Alabama, they love President Trump, and I think they're gonna be looking in this Senate race for somebody that not only says they support President Trump, but somebody that has the record to do it. 97% is pretty good.
97%. And I don't just do it. I mean, we really study these bills. We work hard at understanding them and understanding the context of them and everything. And I honestly, I'm telling you, after doing my homework, bill by bill by bill by bill, he's right 97% of the time.
Now, we know he does a lot of tweeting, but you think that's just kind of bored during the night?
No, I think that's his way of communicating around the mainstream media to just, tens of millions of people that follow him on Twitter. And it's his way of communicating around them exactly what he thinks, which is a lot of times against the norms of what the mainstream media want him to be talking about. Now, I don't tweet as much as he does. I do tweet, but I don't tweet as much as he does. But it's his way of getting his message out there. And it's worked for him. It really has worked for him.
Oh, it has. I mean, you never have to wonder where President Trump stands. If he don't say it this way, he does it in a tweet. And I'm like you. I think that's why people love him, because a lot of politicians, you have to really listen and figure out where they really stand on an issue. But I've never had to do that, President Trump.
No, and really now that he's been president for a little over 3 years, he's gotten to the point where I think he doesn't have to tweet me. I think I know where he stands on things. And I think I know what he expects me to do to support him.
Well, the State of the Union a few weeks ago, we right on national TV. We was everybody watching, and we seen at the end of the speech, the Speaker of the House actually tear up the President's speech right on national TV.
I was astonished. I thought he gave a great speech. I really did think it was a great speech. Of course, she was behind him the whole time, mumbling.
Yeah.
There was a member sitting next to me and said, "Who is she talking to?" And of course, she's sitting next to the Vice President, Mike Pence, and I said, "Well, Mike's not responding to her, so she's not talking to him, so she's kind of mumbling to herself." And then she got up at the end, and there's supposed to be more civility, decorum on an occasion like that. It's a big occasion. And then she picked up a speech and ripped it up. There was a member standing behind me, Mike Conway from Texas. I said, "Mike, did she just tear up the speech?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I cannot believe she did that. How disrespectful. Forget the president. How disrespectful to the rest of us was that?" I don't think she cares. I think she has violated all sorts of norms herself in a negative way. And I think and voted to censor her for it. She needs to be censored for what she did.
Well, I agree. I really think whether you agree with the president or not, when you give him the State of the Union, there's a respect level for really, it's not for the person or for the position.
Imagine John Boehner or Paul Ryan tearing up one of Barack Obama's speeches. There would have been this great hue and cry by all the national news media. I didn't agree with President Obama about just about anything. But when he walked in that room, he was President of the United States. He delivered the State of the Union address. If he said something I agreed with, I clapped. If he said something I didn't agree with, I didn't clap. But I was respected his office, and I would never, ever have thought about anybody tearing up his speech like that. That's just totally inappropriate.
We listened to her try to explain it. She said there was no truths in it. She couldn't find it. Now, I sat and watched it myself, and of course, you know a lot more about it than I do, but did you hear him say anything that wasn't true?
No, what really hurt her is that it was true. And the truth was that the country's in such good shape as a result of President Trump's leadership, and it's driving them crazy. So I remember one time somebody said to President Truman, they said, "Give them hell, Harry." He says, "I'm not giving them hell. I'm just telling them the truth, but them it feels like hell." And I think that's what's going on here. I think he is just doing so well, it's driving them out of their minds to do silly things like that.
I agree with you. I mean, even the whole impeachment thing. Never said a crime or anything he done. It just didn't like what he done.
The Constitution, which I think we're supposed to go by,
Yeah.
says you only impeach a president for treason, bribery, or another high crime or misdemeanor. Well, they never alleged in either of those articles of impeachment treason, bribery, or any type of crime. So that means we're going to get rid of the president because we disagree with him? That is not what the founders intended. And they've established a dangerous precedent in my view, because every time you have a party in the House, it's just different from the party of the president. Are we always going to impeach him because we disagree with him? That's not good for America.
I agree. I don't either. I hope it don't come down to what you say, but you know, it really sets it up where it's going to be really kind of easy to impeach a president. Can't get rid of it unless you got the Senate on your side, but the House can just kind of play politics with stuff that the Constitution was never meant to be played with that way.
Absolutely. And while we were doing that, we weren't getting the people's business done. It sucked all the political oxygen out of the room, and we haven't done anything about getting the border wall funded, done a little bit, but not nearly enough there, fixing our broken immigration law system, doing something about the cost of health care, more stuff to secure the country, an infrastructure plan. There are all these things we could have been working on that we didn't because we wasted our time and money on this impeachment thing.
A lot of money. Well, let's talk about another election. Then we'll get back to yours, but President Trump's running for re-election too.
Yeah, I think he's going to win. The Democrats are sure making it easy on him too. They totally botched that Iowa caucus. This is a group of people who want to run our healthcare system. They can't even run a caucus in a small state. And now they got, as we're sitting here talking, Bernie Sanders is at the top of the ticket for him. He's a socialist. So I think the impeachment thing backfired on him. I think Bernie's backfiring on him. I think President Trump's going to get reelected. I really do.
Well, what about Bernie? Let's talk about Bernie just for a second. You know, he don't even claim to be a Democrat. You know, he's an independent from, you know, in the Senate. But he's probably going to win the Democratic nomination.
I think he is.
What does that say about him?
It says the Democratic Party has gone so far left that they'll nominate a socialist. That's what it says. You know, the Democratic Party 50 years ago, you know, had people in it that were pretty darn conservative. They're gone. There are no conservatives. There are no moderates left in the Democratic Party. There's the far left, and then there's the socialists. So you've got far left and socialist people in the Democratic Party. American people are not far left or socialist. They're neither one of those.
You ready to, if you win this thing, go up and battle at it? In case I don't think they're going to win. I think President Trump's going to win big.
I do too. No, but they're going to battle us. They're going to fight us still, and I understand that. And you have to have somebody that's willing to get in that fray every day, like I had to do to help the president last year. And if we've got to do that again, we've got to do it again.
All right, back to your race. You've been in the House and you've sponsored several bills and through your 7 years and been very successful in the House. Get in the Senate. What's your first bill you want to sponsor in the Senate?
Constitutional amendment for term limits. People stay up there too long. They start thinking like they own their seats. My congressional seat is not mine. It belongs to the people that elected me. These Senate seats don't belong to the senators. They belong to the people that vote for them and send them there. And sometimes you get staying up there too long, you start believing what's not true, which is that you own your seat. So I think term limits would be a good thing for us to have.
What's the number of terms?
6 2-year terms for a House member and 2 6-year terms for a senator.
12 years.
12 years each way.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. You know, think about it. You could be there 24 years if you have both houses together. So I don't think that's particularly onerous. Now, it's not particularly popular with a lot of my colleagues. I'll be honest with you about it, but I still think it's the right thing to do.
Well, that'd be a good one.
I've got a term limiter in my house named Rebecca Byrne.
Yeah.
She's told me, she says, when it's time for you to come home, I'm going to tell you, you're coming home.
Coming home. And sometimes that's good when the family can tell you before the voters
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah, that's her job.
Well, is there anything else you want to tell us?
Well, I hope anybody who's watching this will go on our website. It's bradleybyrne.com, BradleyByrne.com. Check us out. And if you've got a question, ask us a question. We'll try to get you an answer.
I'm sure they can go to your website and donate if they need to.
They can give us money. We can take all the money we can get, but it's so important for people to go out and vote on March the 3rd. Tell all your friends, all your family, all the people you go to church with, you work with. If we get everybody out to vote and we get that message out there that Bradley Byrne's the right person to be our senator, we're going to be just fine.
Well, Congressman, I appreciate it. I got one more question for you. If you win this thing and you get sworn in January, how many days is it going to take you or weeks to get to know your way around it? I mean,
I'm just moving from one side of the Capitol to the other. I already know a lot of the people that work over there in the Senate. The issues are the same. The people that you work with in the Pentagon or wherever on, they're all the same. So I don't have a learning curve. I will probably have to figure out exactly how I get from my office to the floor of the Senate, but in a week I'll figure that out. But as far as having to actually deal with issues pertaining to Alabama or these federal issues are so important, I'm already doing that now as a congressman. I don't have any learning curve.
well, I appreciate you being with us today. Appreciate your support, President Trump. We keep up with you. You do a great job. We know, 97%. It's hard to beat that. I say me and my wife probably don't agree 97% of the time either, but that is a great record, and like I say you've been there already. So the next 2 weeks, good luck. Get
Thank
out, meet it all you can, and
That's what we're doing.
we appreciate you being on here. Folks, we've said a lot of stuff here today. Appreciate you tuning in, but just remember, everything we say is just our opinion.